He trailblazed the concept of incorporating the audience into his shows and didn't shy away from society's most controversial topics. Today, the legacy of Phil Donahue is trending after the 88-year-old icon died fighting a long illness. Dubbed the king of daytime talk, Donahue went against the grain by involving his audience while hosting a full hour of television with a single guest. Jason Gaidola joins us live tonight with more on this story. Hey, Jason.
Nicole, according to his famous memoir, Donahue said he was frequently asked why he would only have one guest per show with no band. But his trend-setting ways went beyond a format. Donahue will always be remembered as the man who gave attention to many people, including spiritual leaders, doctors, activists, and politicians.
After 29 years and more than 6,000 shows, here we are.
He changed the face of daytime talk television.
I agree with your observation that you can't fix racism if you don't, first of all, examine yourself. And racism's a lot like cancer. You don't always know you have it.
And did it with the people who tuned in. According to NBC's Today Show, Phil Donahue died over the weekend with family by his side after a long illness.
Phil Donahue really made, it was almost as though instead of having a sidekick, which many talk shows had, he had the audience for his sidekick. And that really did bring in a dimension that we hadn't seen before.
The nationwide trend center was the first to incorporate audience participation in a talk show, typically during a full hour with a single guest. He was also very popular with female audiences, tackling hot-button social issues, including feminism, homosexuality, consumer protection, and civil rights.
There was a whole contingent of women of color for reproductive rights with a banner, which was led by...
And fearless when interviewing controversial guests.
Shouldn't we have just a little more understanding from a man of your influence and wealth on the issue of making New York livable for all of us?
Everybody's going to get it. I shouldn't be the only one that's not getting it, Phil. And I know you well enough to know that you wouldn't take it either. If you were in my position, you wouldn't take that. So that's what happened.
Hey, let's hear it for the rich folks.
His audiences were pretty balanced. And I think one of the reasons he was able to navigate that so well was he had an intense curiosity about other people. And so like when he was asking the questions, you never got the sense that he had like sort of talking points that he wanted to hit.
The emblematic star's personal life even unfolded on air after he interviewed his now wife, Marlo Thomas.
I'm sorry that we are out of time. You are really fascinating.
No, but you are wonderful. I said it when we were off there, and I want to say you are loving and generous, and you like women, and it's a pleasure. And whoever is the woman in your life is very lucky.
The syndicated Phil Donahue show racked up 20 Emmys and a Peabody Award for more than 20 years over the air, and leaves behind a legacy with many following his footsteps.
Jerry Springer and Geraldo would go off into their own little specializations. And of course, right there in Chicago, Oprah Winfrey, who also would later be simply known as Oprah.
I would love for the television industry to go back to, I don't know if it ever can, is having a show like Phil Donahue or Oprah in her heyday. I may be nostalgic, but I think that would be something that would benefit the world today.
Between 1967 and 1996, Donahue hosted more than 6,000 shows, which did earn him an honor from the White House. In May, U.S. President Joe Biden awarded a Presidential Medal of Freedom to Donahue for him being a pioneer of daytime talk TV.